I don't know about you, but I am still fuming from yesterday. If you don't know what yesterday was, depending on when you're watching this, it was July 21st of 2025, and Stephan Michael Sterns was sentenced to life without parole 21 times for what he did to Madeline Soto. Now, the reason I'm angry is because, as we know, there will not be any trials. He's avoiding the death penalty. That's part of the plea agreement, but the fact that he pleaded no contest to the murder charge has me really upset. And then also the fact that Madeline Soto's mother was not there making any victim impact statements is still very upsetting. So even if people say, well, obviously she wouldn't be there because of all the comments on the internet. Yeah, when that's your daughter and she was sexually abused for years and then murdered by your boyfriend. Okay, one would think that you just ignore the internet comments if that's what it is, and then just show up for your daughter. Make the victim impact statements just like Madeline Soto's grandmother did, her aunts did, roommates in the house did, friends did, cousins did, you know? So anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in still fuming. Okay, so this is going to be a very snarky video. So if you are new here, welcome. My name is Grizzly K, and this is Grizzly True Crime, and I hope you will consider subscribing. I will put a disclaimer in that I'm not always this snarky or pissed off, but this case just really, really upsets me. If you don't know anything about Madeline Soto's case, I would recommend expanding the description box. You can just click more. There's a case background right up there for you, and then you'll find a link to the playlist where you're going to find all the details that you want to know. There's summaries of the case, of the timeline. There's deep dives. There's police video interviews. There's police audio interviews. There's everything that you can imagine in this case, because it's one of those that we as a community have followed very closely since the day that Madeline Soto was reported missing, which was right after her 13th birthday party. And that was on February 26th of 2024. Now, in this video today, what I want to do is offer you summaries of what happened in that plea hearing yesterday, because you're going to like it, okay? Especially if you're angry like me with him. There's a few things, there's a few points that I think some people may have missed that I'm going to let you know about. And then what I'm going to do is just rebut everything that he said. I cannot believe that he decided to have the last word, and I cannot believe what he said. So not only are we going to rewatch what he said, and I am going to snark, which means get angry and all of that. I'm going to make commentary this time, okay? Because yesterday we just all watched it and we remained calm, but I cannot believe what he said. And there's reasons for it. So what I'm going to do afterwards is show you evidence of why what he said is so uncalled for, you know? Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Okay, so the first thing that I want to let you know about is that yesterday, did you realize that the judge sentenced Stephan Sterns to 21 life without parole sentences? Yeah. He got 1 for the murder charge, 7 for the lewd and lascivious molestation charges, so 7 times life without parole, 5 life without parole sentences for sexual battery on a child between the age of 12 and 18, and 8 for capital sexual battery on a child under 12. 21 life without parole sentences. That's what he agreed to. So no, he's not going to be facing the death penalty. There will not be any trials, but I can live with 21 LWOP sentences. But it gets better. Guess what? He owes the court some money. And the judge said in the one case, it is $11,163. And in the other case, it's $666. And if you add that up, it's $11,829. How's he going to pay that? So they say this is reduced to a civil judgment. Now, because he's sentenced 21 times to life without parole, meaning he will never, ever, 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 ever get out of prison, how is he going to pay that? Oh, any money that he receives from external sources like family or friends or fans. Can you imagine that they will be? It's inevitable. Gross, oh my word. People that send him money, part of that money is going to be used to pay off this debt that he owes the court. Isn't that just so comforting? Because we know he loves his root beer barrels and keefy coffee and sardines and spicy pickles, and he will still be able to order those things if he gets money from his family like he's been getting, and as I said, fans. Okay, but no matter what he gets, part of that is going to go towards paying off this debt. So I don't think they'll take everything from him initially. So if he gets $100, maybe they'll put 50 towards the debt and he'll get 50. But the point of that is that he's going to have way less commissary than he wants. He's not going to be comfortable like he's been in jail. Okay, so those are those two bits of information. Now, what I do want to remind all of us, not that we need reminding, especially if we follow this case very closely, is that this guy, look at him. Just in case people don't realize the severity of this case, look at him. That is what a child had to deal with. That, I can't even say man, that creature, okay, sexually abusing her for years, just based on evidence on his phone. Investigators say it would have started when she was around 8 years old, that he was documenting the abuse. Oftentimes, the victim, Madeline Soto, appeared to be sleeping, but other times she must have been awake because she drew things in her notebook. She was trying to deal with all of that trauma, trying to deal with what was happening to her, right? So just look at this guy. I mean, I have all very bad words in my head to say about this one, but just imagine being a child and having to deal with this. It is just absolutely horrific. This case is so, so terrible. And look at that photo of Madeline. I mean, she really doesn't look happy. There's shame. She was so, so beautiful. And this guy strangled her to death after sexually abusing her for years. And then he has the audacity to speak at his change of plea hearing, where he's accepting a plea deal. He's getting 21 life without parole sentences. And he has the audacity to say this crap. Are you ready?
I agree that it's not fair that Madeline is not here anymore. I still have a hard time contemplating a world where she's not around, a world which feels less vibrant and less colorful than it did before.
How was it vibrant and colorful? Yes, Madeline was amazing. But he took her vibrancy. He took her color. He took her life. And I mean, for years before he even murdered her, he stole her childhood for his own sexual gain, for his depravity. And then he says crap like this?
I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead. And unfortunately, that's just not how he works.
Oh, so it's God's fault now. See, this is what pisses me off. He didn't take accountability at all. Not only did he plead no contest to the murder charge, which means that he's not saying, yes, I'm guilty, but he does not dispute the charges or the evidence the state has against him. So it's kind of like shrugging, like, okay. It's almost like, if you say so, sure. That's kind of what that is, right? Wow. But here he's saying it's God's fault that he took Madeline's life instead of his. Madeline was strangled to death. And the DNA evidence, based on her autopsy report from the medical examiner, has presence of blood on her hands, on her neck, like in places you just don't want to think of. And it's like, it must have been so horrific. And he made content that very night, because investigators were able to identify clothing that he was wearing in videos and photos in the drawers of that room, bedroom number 4 upstairs, the room where Madeline Soto's own mother sent her to. Right after her 13th birthday party, you go upstairs, I need a good night's rest. Screw whatever you need for the whole week of school coming up. I have 2 days off. You go upstairs and you go to sleep with my ex-boyfriend, this 38-year-old man. I think he's 40 now, 39, 40, but you know, at the time. Okay, in those drawers, police found a gun. In his backpack, police found lube. Yeah. And then they also found clothing that he was wearing in videos and or photos. He was making content that night. And I think, so trigger warning, I think that he doesn't want to take responsibility for her murder because to him it could have been a sexual thing that he was doing, meaning autoerotic asphyxiation, something like that, and then it went too far and then she died. You know what I mean? That he's like, oh crap, like I didn't mean for her to die. I didn't mean for. But just think about the depravity. I mean, this guy is sick in the head. He is so sick to even sit here on this day, which was July 21st of 2025, and say this crap.
I have nothing but sorrow for her loss. And I miss her all the time. Her passing has torn me and my family apart as well. And she truly was a joy.
He says she truly was a joy. This guy sexually abused the little girl, Madeline Soto, from when at least she was 8. It could have started when she was 6, okay? Just based on what he had on his Google Drive, starts when she's around 8. And he says she truly was a joy, and he misses her every day. You sick guy. I can't even believe that he said that. And that it's hard on him and his family too.
I pray to God that she is in heaven and that he's taking good care of her. And I hope she gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice.
Even just the way he talked. She gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice. Shut up, dude, shut up. I'm just like picturing throwing a can on the back of that head. Just like, shut up, dude. Ooh, the family behaved in that courtroom. I don't know if I would have been able to. I've never met Madeline Soto, and I'm so upset by this case. That if I were there yesterday in that courtroom, I don't think I would have been able to contain myself. I'm glad I wasn't there. It's far away, sitting in Switzerland, watching this. And I've got this picture of him, by the way, from when, they fingerprinted him after this hearing, which actually I can show you those grubby paws. You want to see them? You want to see the grubby paws? Okay, I'll show you. There they are. Look at him. We watched this happen. If you didn't see the plea hearing, by the way, I'll link it below for you. It's all on the playlist as well. But yes, there you go. It says here, first degree murder, capital degree of crime. Obviously, we know he's charged with all those other things as well, but this is what they put on the form from yesterday. And there are the grubby, maggoty, I don't know, I could say so many parasitic paws. The prints of this creature right here. And so that happened. And then while we're at it, let me just show you here as well. They've got the state of Florida versus Stephan Michael Sterns. This is public record, YouTube disclaimer. I'm not showing anything I'm not supposed to be showing. So they're showing the amount that he owes, but if you add it all up, you could see as well that he's getting credit for time served. Doesn't help. He's got life without parole times 21. Okay. And here as well, you could see his plea form. It says State of Florida versus Stephan Sterns, defendant. Please, Stephan Sterns, defendant, withdraw my pleas of not guilty and enter pleas of count 1. Look there. It says guilty, but no lo contendere. Like, he pleads no contest to this murder first degree charge. And everything else he pleaded guilty to. So this is the form from that. Now, actually, while we're here, I'm going to show you. So, okay, sorry. If you want to just pause and read it, you could just see. We saw what happened yesterday, so we know about this, right? But what I do want to do is let's go like this to this part over here. It's page 5 of 8. And let's just read through this plea form. It says State of Florida plaintiff versus Stephan Michael Sterns, defendant, addendum to the plea form. I do want to say, if you want to skip to the clips of me, I don't know, snarking it at Stephan Sterns so more. Just follow the timestamps, okay? That's in the pinned comment in the description box, or you can hover over the video. So the assistant state attorneys, Danielle Marie Pennell and William Robert J., and the defendant, Stephan Michael Sterns, as well as his lawyers, Elizabeth E. Borden and Alicia C. Smith, agree to all the conditions outlined in this addendum to the plea form and incorporate them into the plea agreement for these two cases. The defendant will enter a guilty plea to counts 1 to 20 in 49-2024 CF 000632. The defendant will be sentenced to life in the Department of Corrections on all 20 counts, and the sentences will run concurrently to each other as well as concurrently to the sentence of that that case. In exchange for the plea on guilty counts 1 to 20, the state will enter a nolle prosequi on counts 21 to 60. It says, furthermore, the state will file no additional, this is important. Furthermore, the state will file no additional charges against the defendant for any alleged sexual abuse regarding the named victim in counts 1 to 20. So if they find any other evidence, can't charge him with it, nor will the state file any additional charges regarding any child sexual abuse material that was recovered in any county during the course of this investigation and prosecution. So you know that flash drive that they found in his father's storeroom with 38,000 CSAM pictures on it and or videos? Yeah, they can't charge him with that based on this plea deal. So we're not going to see more charges stacked, and we won't see justice for those victims. Now, we don't know if he was involved in the production of that content or if it's content that he had collected, traded, and done who knows what with. It's all just absolutely frightening, right? The defendant waives his right to an appeal regarding the denial of any or all of the motions to suppress which were denied by the trial court on July 1st of 2025. The defendant understands that by entering into a plea agreement with the state of Florida, the state will not be required to present witness testimony and the digital evidence to prove the allegations in the information filed against the defendant. Although the visual evidence will be presented in a manner that members of the public would not be able to view it, the defendant agrees that it is in his best interest to not have the testimony and evidence against him presented during trial in a public courtroom. Oh, you think? Obviously, that's in his best interest. I do also think it's in the best interest of the victim in the sense of maintaining her dignity. These photos and videos, things that he produced while abusing her, just from the documents sound horrific. So imagine the jury having to see that. Imagine family members, everyone in the courtroom, everyone hearing them describe what he's doing with his you know what, and in the photos and videos. So yeah, but there you could see it. It says the defendant agrees that it's in his best interest to not have the testimony evidence against him presented during trial in a public courtroom. The defendant will enter a plea of no contest to the first-degree murder. So they all knew that he was going to do that before we saw that yesterday. And this sucks. I wish the state said, no, if this is going to be a plea deal, you will plead guilty to that charge. Maybe there's a reason. I don't know why they allowed it. Interesting. So the defendant will enter a plea of no contest to first-degree murder. In that case, the defendant will be sentenced to life in the Department of Corrections, and the sentence shall run concurrently with the other sentences. In exchange, the state will waive its notice of intent to seek the death penalty. So his life was spared. Both the defendant and the state understand that a sentence of death could not be given to the defendant unless there was a conviction for first-degree murder, an 8-4 jury recommendation for a death sentence, and that the court would ultimately determine if a death sentence would be pronounced if the jury made a recommendation for a sentence of death. The state and the homicide survivors have the benefit of the certainty of a conviction with a sentence of life in the Department of Corrections, as well as the finality of the relatively few options for post-conviction relief with a plea agreement. In turn, the defendant knows with certainty that he will not face a sentence of death. The defendant acknowledges that all the documentary and digital evidence, barring unexpected supplementary discovery, has been provided to and reviewed by his team of attorneys. The defendant does not wish for any additional time to review or discuss this evidence with his team of attorneys. The defendant understands that his attorneys may take depositions of all witnesses on the state's witness list, and he is satisfied and in agreement with the decision to not proceed with any additional depositions. The defendant understands that even if he does not wish for his attorneys to do so, they are obligated to prepare a mitigation case on his behalf for a potential sentencing phase at his murder trial. The defendant understands that by accepting this plea agreement, his attorneys will stop working on both defending the guilt phase for a trial on the murder charge as well as the sentencing phase. The defendant understands that the mitigation presented to the state thus far regarded an incident involving a car striking him as a child. So that was going to be the mitigating factors, they would argue, is his traumatic brain injury from him when he was apparently as a child run over by a car. And he apparently changed quite a lot. His personality changed quite a lot after that, according to interviews we've heard and calls we've heard and all of that, right? So the defendant understands that if he went to trial in either case or both cases, he could appeal any errors he felt the court or the state committed during the trial or the trials. However, by entering a plea and waiving his right to appeal the decisions on his 3 motions to suppress evidence, in those cases, the only issues he can appeal are the legality of his sentence and the jurisdiction of the court over him. The defendant understands that if he successfully moves to withdraw his plea and sentences that, the state's notice of intent to seek the death penalty will be reinstated. So if he doesn't agree to this, then they will once again seek the death penalty and they will once again proceed to trial on all the counts. So 2 trials, right? But that's now not happening because he did in fact plead guilty to the 60 counts in the one case and the 1 count, which was the murder charge. In the other case, he pleaded no contest to that one. So he's changed his plea. All is said and done, 21 life without parole sentences. That he was already sentenced, in case anyone missed that. And so, yeah, bye-bye forever, right? Now he'll be taken to the Florida Department of Corrections, where he will be sussed out, checked in, and sent to his forever home, which will very likely be, and I don't know it for sure, but just in doing some research, it could be the Union Correctional Institution or the Florida State Prison because of their high-profile max security prison layout, and they have the ability to keep him segregated, which I'm sure he will be for some time. Whether or not he'll ever be released into Gen Pop, like literally amongst everyone else, I don't know, because I do think his life will be in extreme danger if they do, right? And so, okay, we've got that. Now, again, while we're here looking at documents, I want to show you one more, then we're going to look at the clips, okay? Trigger warning. I want to show you this evidence so that you can see it for yourself. It's not something I've covered on my channel before. It's very difficult to see all of this, but it's important because it's important evidence to know, because I know this would have come up at the trial. They would have expanded on this and, you know, talked about this and shown us this. But just so you know, this is what they have. And it's not like Stephan Sterns is just like, no, I plead no contest. I didn't mean that. And she was so beautiful and she had a beautiful voice. And I would never want that for her. Okay, but it sounds like it was very terrible, very violent because of the evidence that they have here. Okay, and so who knows what content he was really streaming or making at the time as well. That's another frightening thought. But just looking at this, at the results here. Okay, so if you go back up here, I will leave it like this for a second just so that you could see this. And if you want to just scroll back and, you know, if you want to screenshot this or see if it's like, for example, item 3 is buccal swabs represented as being from Stephan Sterns. Item 4 is penile swabs represented as being from Stephan Sterns, right? So you can see all the swabs. Madeline Soto's name is redacted here. So if you just look at the results as a glimpse into how Madeline fought for her life, right after her 13th birthday party, coming home, and there Stephan Sterns was because her mother invited him over to look after Madeline Soto. Okay. So if you go to item 3, it says buccal swabs represented as being from Stephan Sterns. Item 5, DNA card represented as being from Madeline Soto. Complete DNA profiles were obtained from item 3 and 5. Item 4, penile swabs represented as being from Stephan Sterns. Item 3 is expected to be a donor to item 4. No DNA results foreign to Stephan Sterns were obtained from item 4. Item 6, left fingernail clippings represented as being from the victim. Using a color change test, item 6 failed to give chemical indications for the presence of blood. Okay, so that's for left fingernail clippings. Item 5 is expected to be a donor to item 6. No DNA results foreign to Madeline were obtained from item 6. But now you go to right. Right fingernail clippings represented as being from the victim. Using a color change test, item 7 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. Item 5 is expected to be a donor to item 7. No DNA results foreign to were obtained from item 7. Then left neck swabs from Madeline Soto and right neck swabs. It says using a color change test, items 8.1 and 8.2 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. Okay, item 5 is expected to be a donor to items 8.1 and 8.2. No DNA results foreign to the victim were obtained. Right hand swabs from Maddie. Using a color change test, item 9 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. And then they say item 5 is expected to be a donor to item 9. DNA results foreign to the victim were obtained from item 9. Due to the limited nature of these results, this data is not interpretable. Item 10, left hand swabs represented as being from the victim. Using a color change test, item 10 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. So we've got left hand, we've got right hand, we've got right fingernail clippings, we've got her neck area. Okay? Remember, she was strangled. So they said the DNA results from item 10 demonstrated the presence of a mixture. Redacted item 5 is expected to be a donor, so the victim, to item 10 and is observed in the mixture. DNA results foreign to were obtained from item 10. Due to the limited nature of these results, this data is not interpretable. Item 11. Rectal swabs from the victim. Using a color change test, item 11 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. See? Possible hairs were observed on item 11, but were not removed or examined. Item 5 is expected to be a donor to item 11. No DNA results foreign to were obtained from item 11. Item 12, vaginal swabs from the victim. Using a color change test, item 12 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. Okay. And so they say item 5 is expected to be a donor to item 12. No DNA results foreign to were obtained from item 12. Item 12.1, hair collected. Oh, my word. Wow. They said a possible hair was observed on item 12, was examined using microscopy. However, this hair was not suitable for STR DNA analysis and was returned to the original package. Another possible hair was observed on item 12, but not removed or examined. Item 13, breast swabs from the victim. Using a color change test, item 13 failed to give chemical indications for the presence of blood. The DNA results obtained from item 13 demonstrated the presence of a mixture. Item 5 is expected to be a donor to item 13 and is observed in the mixture. DNA results foreign to Madeline were obtained from item 13. Due to the limited nature of these results, this data is not interpretable. Item 14, oral swabs represented as being from the victim. Using a color change test, item 14 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. Item 5 is expected to be a donor to item 14. No DNA results foreign to Madeline were obtained from item 14. Remarks, the DNA profiles obtained from items 3 and 5 have been entered into CODIS. And so we've already read through some of this other stuff before, right? So there's nothing else I can report on that right now, and there's other reports too that we've looked at, but just to think of just these clues, it sounds absolutely horrific what Madeline Soto had to endure on the very last night that she was alive, which was right after her 13th birthday party. So again, can you believe the crap that he's saying? And that he pleaded no contest to the murder charge. He's also the one that went by himself to dispose of Madeline Soto's body on the side of a road, on a farm, on private property, in a line of bamboo trees, and he just left her there. He did go back the next night, didn't move her body, but who knows what he did. That's another scary thought. But yeah, he left her body out there this guy cannot say the things that he's saying. So that's what makes me so mad. I mean, how absolutely dare he, right? Now let's look at some of the clips, just because I think that some people could look at this and think, well, shame, maybe he didn't mean it or whatever. I don't know who would ever come to his defense. I don't know. But the thing with this guy, if someone had to say he's extremely mentally ill, and then he had this traumatic brain injury, like he's not well, couldn't help himself. He's very calculated and deceptive. Don't forget that he factory reset his phone twice. Don't forget that he strapped Madeline Soto's body into his dad's car in the passenger seat and drove around with her like that for a couple of hours, deceased, next to him, pretending she was just asleep. Don't forget that. There's so many things that he has done and said that are so incredibly calculated and deceptive that there is no way in hell that anybody could excuse this as, oh, shame, his mental health, or the TBI, or like, I don't know what. There are no excuses for this vile, fill in the blanks. Okay, careful now in the comment section, but you know what I mean. So let's just look at some of that evidence, shall we?
I will miss her all the time. I will never not honor her memory.
Stop. You see, I'm not going to be able to. I have to. I will never not honor her memory. Honor her memory. You sexually abused her for years and then killed her. Honor her memory?
And I apologize for all the pain.
All the pain of what? I apologize for all the pain. Leaves it vague. Pleads no contest. I apologize for all the pain. What pain, sir? To who? Who are you apologizing to? Be more specific. Sorry for all the pain, guys. My bad. He might as well say, my bad. I'm so sorry. She was so beautiful. Sorry for all the pain. Couldn't help myself. Oh my goodness. Just put the handcuffs on and march this guy out of there, which is what they did.
Just had her 13th birthday.
13.
Now we're going to revisit old clips. Are you ready? Okay, look at him. She just had her 13th birthday. Yeah, and then you brought gifts for her that your mommy gave you. You didn't buy her anything yourself. Your mommy had to give you gifts to give to her. Because you're not thoughtful at all. You were just there to get. You were there to claim. Oh, you're 13 now, huh? And based on the evidence we just saw, what did he do to her that night? We don't know. But this guy standing here saying this crap after knowing exactly what he did to Madeline Soto for years and that night, and ditching her body just like that in nature, in St. Cloud. You're gonna stand here and say this crap? Are you serious? Look at it.
What's the name of the single age? Madeline Soto, age 13. I'm trying to get a clothing description now. What was she last seen wearing? People hit my call 931 the same call.
Green hoodie.
Green hoodie.
White Crocs.
White Crocs.
Either blue or black pants.
I think black shorts.
Black shorts.
Yeah.
Black shorts? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Look, he's a bit like, probably thinking, oh crap, if they find her, I know exactly what she's wearing. She's not wearing black shorts. It's like blue jeans, right? And green hoodie that her friend gave her for her birthday. Yes. Oh yes. A new green hoodie that her friend gave her for her birthday. That's what she was found in. With clean white socks. No shoes. The Crocs were in the dumpster. One in the dumpster, one in her mother's room, remember?
Black shorts. Alright. Do you know if she has like friends in the area?
She does, but she doesn't know where they live.
She doesn't know where they live. Okay.
I asked all of them.
Okay.
Dropped off. She was like,
What spot in that stretch?
so she's embarrassed by his car. So she didn't want to be dropped off at school. She wanted me dropped off like half a block away so she can walk.
It's an MS thing. She's in the face.
She's in a phase. How can he stand there and say all this, knowing in his own mind he murdered her? February 26th, like the day before, right? This was actually not even the day before. Wait, this was February 26th, so early that morning. Or late that night, but I think early that morning. I would speculate between midnight and 4 a.m. even midnight to 3 a.m. Yeah, he's standing there being like, oh man, let's report her missing. Yeah, let me tell you what she was wearing. And like, she was in a phase, didn't like the car I was driving. You're literally saying that about beautiful Madeline Soto, who you just murdered? You're telling the cops that crap.
But he dropped her off half a block away and drove away.
Okay. Did she ever go to school though?
No, we called school.
She was walking in that direction. She was rifling through her backpack.
No, she wasn't, because he threw her backpack in the dumpster. That's the first thing he did after carrying her out to the car and strapping her in when she was already dead, making her look like she was sleeping. Then he went straight to the dumpster there where Jen Soto lived in that complex and threw away, as you can see on the right-hand side, her backpack with her school laptop with one crock.
Looking for something, I thought maybe she was just looking for headphones before she got her walking on.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of, shambling over in that direction. It looked the same as any other morning.
What the hell kind of physiology was that, bro?
Pursuing local, reference a 21 to a vehicle.
I think
Going
black
to be
shorts.
an unknown male, gray hoodie,
Possibly
black pants, black ski mask,
white Crocs with socks.
No further information. 1064, 1946.
And when was the last time you seen her? Do you know around what time?
Around 8:30, 8:40 when we dropped her off.
How tall is she?
5'1".
Weight?
Yeah, he's agreeing. Yeah, 5'1". And now he has to just parrot everything that Jen Soto is saying over here. That's Jen Soto, her mother, for those who might not know. I hope you know if you're watching this video. If you don't, please do go deep dive on the playlist. Also, I'm showing just clips, right? I could sit here all day and look at all of the videos again, but you can gladly do that on the playlist if you want to. We'll be here all day if I did that. I have 15 minutes left still of clips to show you of the crap that this guy said.
110 pounds.
About 110, 112.
Hair color?
Blonde.
Blonde, like a dirty blonde.
Like a dirty blonde?
Like
Yeah.
normal.
Okay. Eye color?
Blue.
Does she have any markings on her, like any scars or anything
There's
like that?
a distinctive beauty mark on her face
On her
here.
face?
On the face, like below the nose or near the nose?
Yeah, like right in that area there. It's very distinctive. You'd know it if you saw it. Big.
Any other scars or anything like that? Would you know?
Scars? No.
No.
Tattoos?
Tattoos? No.
She was
You'd be
probably
surprised.
Now this was on February 27th of 2024 when he's eagerly showing the police, look, this is where I dropped her off. There he is still in his dad's car, his dad's Lincoln. And he's now going to show them. This is how far his deception will go. He will lie to their face. Then he'll go out there and roll with it. Now he's going to show them where he dropped her off, which he never dropped her off. He had Madeline Soto strapped into the passenger seat of his dad's car, deceased, drove around for a while, didn't drop off at school, eventually went to a vacation rental headquarters building and transferred her body from the passenger seat to the trunk. They have that on video. Stashed her in the trunk. Yeah, and then he went back to Jen Soto's house and chilled with her for a while, and then factory reset his phone. And then he headed out to run some errands because, you know, we all know what a responsible guy he is, right? And that was after doing some laundry, which he also never did. He's doing laundry at the house. Everyone's like, what is he doing? Yeah, what is he doing? Imagine if one of the roommates thought, why is he doing laundry? Like something is weird here, and they called the police. If they came out there and if they did look in his car, even though I think they need a search warrant and all that, so it's not really plausible. But imagine if they did, they would find Madeline Soto in the trunk of his car. How scary is that? And this guy's there doing laundry and all sorts of things. Didn't Jen think it was weird that he's doing the laundry? There are so many reasons, so many of us still red flag Jen Soto. It's not out of nowhere. It's not out of spite. It's not just to, I don't know what. There's really concerning things that she did and said. Like the sex stuff not being evil. Like she always feared that this would be a Woody Allen situation, and how could they do that to me? Those are just two small examples. There are many. Unfortunately. But like, didn't she notice that he was doing all this laundry, and didn't she find that a little bit strange? But anyway, look at how far this guy will go to deceive the police.
Was it here?
It was along this stretch. I can't remember the exact spot, but it was around where these communities were. Oh, thank you. So it's like around where these communities were,
Okay.
and it's just like in this stretch, like we could see the overpass down there.
Where's the school?
Just on the other side of the overpass.
2105.
So somewhere around here.
So yeah, somewhere, maybe not this one, but the next one possibly. It's right in this stretch. When we just came down and we drove about halfway down, she was like, "That's good right here."
Okay.
She didn't say any of that because she was dead. Okay, now I'm just showing you a tiny clip from this interview that Jen Soto did, which I think was on February 28th of 2024. Because Stephan Sterns is now in the background. And if you remember this interview, he was cracking his knuckles trying to, I don't know what, if he was trying to intimidate Jen Soto or what he was trying to do, but how bizarre was this?
It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk from, and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
All right, the first question is if I can get your...
Okay, so this is a picture from those Freedom of Information Act requests. This is the bamboo tree line where Madeline Soto's body was found, which they've redacted in this image. I put this here so that you can just remember that in this interview, this entire time, he knew exactly where Madeline Soto was, where her body was. He knew she was dead. He knew he'd murdered her. He knew that he had sexually abused her for years because he had a collection on his Google Drive that he didn't want the police to find out about, which is why factory reset his phone. He knew all of this. And look, just look again, one more time. Let's watch this interview, okay? Together. We've watched it together a few times, but let's watch it again so that you can really grasp, like, holy crap, even at the plea hearing, he's saying the stuff that he said. But all this time, look at how he lies. His own father said when his lips are moving, he's lying. And we could see it right here. Look.
First and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephan Sterns, Stephan Sterns.
All right, so Stephan, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off.
No, you didn't.
Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
The last time we saw her. Liar. The last time that you saw her was after driving around with her right next to you. Dead. Okay, that's the reality of it. 4 days. She was 13 years old. So barely 13, Madeline Soto, dead in the vehicle next to him. He sees that the whole time. He's driving the car. He's like, she's right next to him. And then he carried her body and put it in the trunk. And then he went to St. Cloud and he carried her body and put it in that bamboo tree line. And he tried to put grass and twigs over her. He made her lie face down. Yeah. And then he went back the next night. So that was in fact the last time that he saw her. But here he's like, hey, it was the last time we saw her. You didn't even drop her off.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way.
She wasn't asleep. She was dead.
Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks. Love you too.
You do not know what love is. Okay, let me first, I know I'm chipping in a lot and there's going to be new people here that are like, oh my word, just play the clip. Please understand, we've been through this many times. I've made you case files where you can watch this without any commentary whatsoever. The entire point of this video is to make commentary, okay?
That was it.
And so where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
How about there? Where you placed her? Where you had the flat tire? Yeah, how about there?
Not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she can be. We're scared. We just want her home.
Okay, Chris Watts. Ugh, we just want her home. She's not the type to run off. No, she isn't. No, she's not the type to run off. even though she very much could have because of what you put her through for years. And she still had to try cope with school and everything in her life as a child. And you are saying, we're scared and we just want her home. But you know exactly where she is. You could tell them right now exactly where they can find her. When was Madeline Soto's body discovered? Well, firstly, she was reported missing on February 26th of 2024, and her body was discovered on March 1st of 2024. And why? Because of one man who spotted Stephan Sterns there. Go and listen to his interview. It's on the playlist. And that man said Stephan looked a little scared, but a little weird. He was like standing there with a tire iron, but like he wasn't really changing a tire at the time. He wasn't too sure what was going on there. And he called the police multiple times because they told him, your tip is, it's a little too vague. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with it. And so he called and called and called. He sent in video footage. He said, this is where I saw him, right here. They then went to that area. They searched the area. They found Madeline Soto's body. So, yeah, wow, imagine if it wasn't for him. Oh my goodness, what a scary thought. But where he had the flat tire is where he left Madeline Soto's body. This guy now is like, I don't know where she is.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day.
It also wasn't like any other day because Stephan hardly ever took her to school, if even once before that. Like any other day, no.
It's hard not to blame myself.
What has the conversation been with Jen since?
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well, but it just keeps coming in waves. Just the reality keeps hitting. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe.
Oh my word, you know she's dead. You murdered her. You strangled her. You sexually abused her. Shut up. The guy's name who saw Stephan Sterns changing his tire exactly at the spot where they found Madeline Soto's body, right, was Mr. Thomas Karras. So please go and listen to his interview on the playlist because I think he's an honorary Grizzly. His persistence to tell the police, no, I saw that vehicle. I saw that guy. And he was looking a little sus. Didn't think much of it at the time. But actually, and that's why they were able to find Madeline Soto's body there on March 1st.
We were just scared. We just wanted her home.
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I even went out with the cops where I had dropped her off. And we looked all up and down the road, all along the communities, and there was nothing helpful. None of the cameras were pointing the street. Nothing, which in 2024 was surprising.
Don't worry, they caught you on many other cameras, including ones in the building that you went into to the second floor to move her body. Caught you on camera there, and at the dumpster that you visited several times that day. Yeah, and everywhere else you went, they caught you in so many places.
The church across the street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving on, and that was it. But it was grainy. It was grainy footage, and not much else.
Does it seem like she walked west, east?
They said in the direction of the school. I'm not sure what that is.
What was the language? Not language verbally, language, body language. When you dropped her off, did she seem happy? Was she like, I'm going to meet my friends?
Happy. She had a happy weekend. She just turned 13. She had her 13th birthday party. She was happy that we were all together here, and she's just very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of...
Yes, once again, notice all the past tense references. We all caught that the first time. Remember the first time we watched this together when Madeline Soto was a missing child? And we saw these interviews and it's like, interesting. Okay then. Speaking about her in past tense, that's weird.
Joy to us, and we just... Just not knowing.
So the unknown is killing you.
Yeah, it's like our whole world is upside down. And not feeling her presence here is... I'm sorry. It's hard.
Oh no, you're fine. Don't need to apologize. What do you want our viewers to know when they see this?
She's a sweetheart. She's a very sweet, kind girl. Just please be nice to her. Bring her home if you find her. Tell her that we love her. Wherever she is, I hope she's okay.
You know she's not okay.
I mean, if someone were to come in contact with her and you gave me her diagnoses, would it be easy to approach her without any like agitation or anything?
Yeah. She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
If you can sum up in one complete sentence, waking up, getting ready to drop her off at school, dropping her off at school, to now speaking to me after talking to the police about her being missing for over 24 hours right now. In one complete sentence, what would that be?
A living nightmare. It's a living nightmare. They started off like any other.
No, it didn't, because you murdered her early morning hours, and then you had to figure out what you're going to do now. What are you going to do? But the day started off like any other.
And I just want to wake up and just get hit with waves of the reality. Just it's setting in. As soon as it got dark last night, we started falling apart because we knew it wasn't going to come to an end.
How do you know that? You do know. We know that you know, especially now. We know that you knew it. But at the time, it's like, she's missing. You and Jen are not out searching? You're showing the cops the fake drop-off spot, but you're not searching. And you're like, it's just never going to come to an end.
And now we're going on 24 hours and still nothing. Just conflicting reports here and there. People say they see this or that. None of it's conclusive and none of it's helpful.
Don't worry. Mr. Thomas Karras saved the day. It was conclusive and helpful where he saw you acting really sus. Probably changing a tire for the first time in your life. Busy day for you. Did laundry probably for the first day in your life. Yeah, and there is an end to this living nightmare. 21 life without parole sentences.
We just want a baby girl back.
Never say those words again. Ever.
Tom, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Thank you.
Is her...
Okay, so here's a clip from the 28th of Feb of 2024 where the police went back to the house, which you can see. Let me just zoom in so you can see. Pictured over there. That was Maddie's house. And Stephan Sterns is here as well. You know, try to be so helpful.
About like a pillow that she likes to sleep with.
underwear is not... I mean, all that stuff works.
Yeah, but you slept on the pillow this morning.
Oh, that's right. I snuggled with her pillow.
He said, that's right, I snuggled with a pillow. Oh my word, stop saying snuggled at all ever. If you ever saw his police video interview, which we're going to look at clips of in a moment, do not say snuggle ever again in your life. This should be part of the plea agreement. Never say Madeline Soto's name again. Never Maddie, never Madeline, never Madeline Soto, never baby girl. None of that ever again. That should be written in the plea agreement. Do not ever say snuggle and cuddle in your life again. And ban all root beer barrels. So now watch him lie. Like, this is like, look at this progression. He's lied so much already on body cam, showing the police the fake drop-off spot. To the media, he'll even do media interviews. And here, he's now cornered. I mean, this guy looks like he's ready to pounce. He's now cornered. I'm only showing you snippets of this full police video interview, which please do go watch. If you've never seen it, or maybe you want to see it again. I'll watch it again. You know, if you're watching it again, I'm probably watching it again too, because I want to see it all in hindsight. Because it just makes one so mad. Like, what the hell was this guy thinking? Do you really think you were going to get away with it? Okay, so check this.
I think she was just asleep. She was just reclined in the chair sleeping.
Okay, explain to me, like reclining backwards?
He's going to imitate how she was in the vehicle, deceased. Don't forget that.
Just laying back in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I guess.
Okay. Alright. Stephan here. I'm too old to lie to people. Too old to beat around the bush. And we seem like we're having a generally good conversation right now. Okay. The only thing that I ask for from you is, and I will reciprocate, I want you to be honest with me as much as I'm being honest with you. Okay. There's cameras in all over the place, as you can imagine. Nowadays, cameras are everywhere. Okay. So we see you coming in at the guard shack. Okay.
Look at it. Yeah, we see you.
We see you go by the dumpster. Okay.
Where he threw her backpack away.
I may have taken some trash with me then.
What was in the trash?
Oh my word, the guy was taking out trash, doing laundry, changing tires all on one day?
House trash.
House trash?
Yeah.
For school, did she have her backpack with her?
Yes.
She did.
No, it's one of the first things he threw away.
Did she have her school computer with her?
Yes. Presumably, yes.
Presumably. Okay. Do you have any idea where she may be?
No.
None
Yeah, you do.
whatsoever.
No.
Okay.
He says,
All right.
She was excited about her choir performance coming up.
Here I speculate motive. Just watch. That's why I'm zooming in as much as I can. Okay? Watch how he speaks about Madeline Soto having a crush, or crushes. She had a crush on a boy at school.
She was singing a little bit. I told her it was pretty. It reminded me of Sister Act. That's why I wanted to show her that movie. Just talking about a crush she had on a boy.
How'd that make you feel?
Fine. She knows she's not old enough to date, but I told her crush on. Get your crush. That's healthy.
Crush on. I told her crush on. Get your crush on. It's healthy. Liar. Absolute liar. You did not tell her that. You probably strangled her over that jealousy, right? That's my speculation. I know others have other speculation. That's mine. Because people like this, there are other cases like this where it's as simple as that. Jealousy, like, wait, what? It's almost like in his sick mind, he's like, you're breaking up with me? No way, no one else can have you.
Do you think, had she had any boyfriends in the past?
Not per se, boyfriends as however they can be early on, but we decided that she was too young, needed to avoid that BS.
All right.
She needed to avoid that BS. She's way too young to date. How dare she date? She's way too young for that. But dude, you were sexually abusing her from when she was 8 years old, at least 8. Based on the evidence they have, it could have happened before then. And you're like, look at this police officer. He's like, oh my word, what is this guy even telling me? Ew. I think he's cringing hard here. He's just like, oh, get me out of this room. I would feel the same. You decided, and look at Stephan's face there. He looks angry. He looks jealous and angry to me. You decided, well, you said we decided she was too young for that BS. Oh, that BS, you say. Oh.
Being that she's too young, so she shouldn't be having sex with boys. You're saying?
She's all the that stuff. None of it counts. None of it's real.
None of it counts. None of it's real. Who cares about crushes she has? I mean, it doesn't matter if he's a boyfriend. So he says, boyfriend, that BS, and none of it's real. Do you see how he talks about Madeline Soto wanting boyfriends, having crushes? not wanting to be with him at all. Who would want to?
Or she'd be better off waiting till high school.
Has she ever talked to you about boys?
A little bit sometimes.
Has she ever, because I asked Jennifer the same thing, has she ever disclosed to you about being sexually active with boys?
No.
Do you know if she's ever been sexually active with anybody in the past?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe me though. I filmed it, by the way. You guys will find it in a minute from my Google Drive account. All the sick evidence, my collection that I made and kept.
There was some sort of incident when she was much younger where she did something with the phone or a camera but got scolded for it. She was very young, she didn't know. She got scolded for it though.
And from what I understand, that you gave the deputies consent to look through your phone. Yeah. You did? Okay.
See, gave consent to look through your phone.
You voluntarily gave it to them so they could bring it here to do the extraction and stuff like that. Okay. What do you think was on the phone?
Text messages. Emails. Old stuff.
Pictures?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of pictures were on there?
Trading card pictures.
That's a big sigh.
Lightsaber pictures. Disney pictures.
Do you have a Google account?
Yeah.
Do you save pictures to your Google account?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Or is it automatically? I know sometimes phones sync to a cloud and...
Yeah, I think it backs up to Google.
And then sometimes when you reset your phone and your phone updates and puts these apps back on your phone, sometimes they will put the images back on your phone.
I'm not sure.
Okay. You're about to find out.
Do you have
I assume so.
any pictures of you and...
The redacted word there is Madeline. Do you have any pictures of Madeline? Any pictures of you and Madeline?
Probably. I mean, we went to Disney, took selfies on the train. She got back from Puerto Rico and had her hair braided. We got pictures of that. All sorts of pictures. Family events. I'm not as much of a shutterbug. Take them every once in a while.
Any other pictures that you think of?
Yeah, anything else?
Here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you. There's your phone.
See, Sam, child sexual abuse material.
And I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about. You're a very intelligent person. And I don't want you to discredit yourself by saying you don't know about all the pictures that are on your phone. You understand what I'm saying? So do you want to add to the list of pictures?
Should I be talking with a lawyer right now?
I can't answer that question. My sole purpose right now is to see if I can find...
Okay, so those are the clips that I wanted to show you today. I could go on. I think I could snark about this guy endlessly, because can you believe, even on July 21st of 2025, when we all think, oh my word, he's going to actually accept responsibility for what he did, he pleads no contest to the murder charge. And yes, he pleaded guilty to the other charges. But he thinks he's the victim. How do we know? Because listen to what he said at that plea hearing. Oh my goodness, and he just had to have the last word, didn't he? I know it's a legal proceeding. I know that's the order of things. I know that's how it works. But still, it would have been better for him to not say anything. No. Or not what he said. It was terrible. So, I hope that you feel updated, especially if you've been following the case closely. If there's anything else to report on, if there's FOIA requests and there's any interesting information that we didn't yet know that comes out, then of course I'll share that with you. There might be the surveillance footage, for example, maybe even of him at the dumpster, which of course they'll have to redact Madeline Soto's face out, you know, especially because she's a minor. But seeing him at the dumpster and throwing away a backpack, I'd like to see that surveillance, because they have it, right? Seeing the surveillance of the car. There must be lots of things that would have been presented at trial that we didn't get to see because there aren't going to be any trials. But at the end of the day, I think we can all breathe easy knowing 21 times life without parole. Oh, 21 sentences of life without the possibility of parole. Okay, and that he can't have all these creature comforts. He can, but not as much as he did because of what he owes to the courts. Okay, those are two minor comforting things, right? Small silver linings of like, okay, thank goodness. Will he be segregated or not? Probably, for his own safety, especially for now. I don't know, but I'll keep you posted. Thank you so much for following along with me, for snarking along with me. I know this case is very upsetting to so many of us, and I think the case also offers many lessons on how groomers and predators operate, that, you know, they often will worm their way into single parent homes, not to be with a parent, even though they will also love bomb and groom the parent usually. But they would also do all of that to get to the child, right? So it's just so sickening. It's so terrible what he did. I think what makes it extra terrible is that her mom sent her upstairs to sleep in a room with all those locks on the doors and everything with her ex-boyfriend. It wasn't even her boyfriend at the time. She kicked Stephan out saying he's messy and they don't have sex and it's kind of over and he's going to go and get a job with his dad, but then that fell through, and she was saying we wanted him to come back and maybe he'd get his job back at Disney. I mean, people like that also, oh, shame. They probably do normally work, you know, where children are, which is also sickening to think of. But it's just so bad that Jen Soto said, you go upstairs to sleep in a room, a locked room with this guy, because I need a good night's rest. That's, oh no, there's so many layers to this case that just are so upsetting. And there's so many lessons to be learned as this case was spotlighted. Thank you for following Maddie's case with me. I do think justice was served. I know that many people would want even more, you know, like for him to be sentenced to death or whatever. But I think justice was served. 21 life without parole sentences. I could live with that. How about you? Let me know. I'm looking forward to reading your comments below. Thank you so much for watching. And in the meantime, stay safe.